definitely representative of my environment now and the environments I was in growing up. And it's a combination of all these different time periods coming together. I mean, I grew up like a lot of people in this country, driving around the country, in the backseat of a station wagon. And in my family, we used to listen to all different types of music. And I was the youngest, so I had the least choice. So I was basically stuck between my brother's rock music, my sister's pop music, my dad's classical music, and my mother's film music. So I was just constantly hearing this stuff going, one, it'll be a Beatles song, then a Hymns and Joshi Rag, and then my mom wants to listen to a film soundtrack, and then it'll be Lionel Richie and Duran Duran. And so this was, all of this stuff that was happening at the same time. It created a sound, and it wasn't, I don't think anybody really creates sound, we discover it. And there was definitely a moment where, for me, it was a discovery of an identity of this is what makes sense for me here, and why what makes me feel comfortable to stay. The sound is analogous to that. Always playing with genres, because for me genres are kind of secondary to music itself. So whether it's classical music or electronic music or glitch hop or guzzle, it's all, for me, it's really the same thing. It's really about the attitude and the sentiment in the music. So I don't necessarily say I want to dive into this kind of thing for a while. It just happens naturally. Sometimes I'm listening to a lot of dubstep, so the track I'm working on might become a combination of guzzle and dubstep, but there's no conceptualization of that kind of thing going on. As a profession, I started pursuing it only because all of a sudden I had to pay my rent, and but I've been playing music since I was a kid. I started playing music as soon as live as soon as I came to New York City as a student at NYU, and before that I'd been performing out on Long Island with a lot of bands and things like that. So since I was 3, I think I can say that I'd never stopped doing what I do now. I don't know if I've ever had that big break. I think we always are waiting for that moment where you feel like now's the time. But they've definitely been milestones for me. But they've been personal milestones. It's not like record sold or or any kind of number or status thing. It's just personal moments, like getting a blessing from Ustad Zakir Hussain or Pandit Ravi Shankar. Like, these are huge things for a kid who grew up so far away from them and kind of worshiping them from afar. I have everything on my iPod. Everything that I would want to listen to, because I just listen to good music. And I love to listen to it on shuffle. So if you come to my house, you'll hear a Sigur Rós tune followed by El Subramaniam, followed by some film soundtrack, Hans Zimmer thing that and then Metallica, anything. I love music, and I love varying my the different things that I listen to. My parents love music. It was definitely because of them that even just simply to appreciate music and the power of music. I remember being a kid and seeing my father's eyes well up when he'd hear an old song before I understood why. But there was definitely something that I learned about the power of music from that. What's most important is to focus on what makes you unique. And everybody has something that makes them unique. And a lot of times what we do as artists is we try to become analogous to something that we to someone or something or a style or a band or a genre, and then we get stuck there and we don't actually explore what it is that we have to say. That's different, nor do we sometimes feel like we deserve to. I think like Indian classical music, for instance, it's a very intimidating institution. For someone to feel like I'm going to do my thing, it's a very bold statement to make as a classical student, but I think that's what's important. That's what people need to be able to do. It's the people that we look up to are people that did exactly that. They changed what was going on to put it into context for the audience. It's, 100 years ago, classical music didn't look anything like it does today. For me, everything that I write about is about what's happening to me in my life, and it's a way of therapy. It's a way of dealing with my own life. So that's the inspiration for writing a particular song may come from something that just happened to me the day before. So and music, artists inspire me. I've always been a huge fan of people like Pandit Ravi Shankar, people like Bill Laswell, Peter Gabriel, Zakir Hussain. These are, when I see what it is that they do, or listen to an old record that they did 20 years ago, and it's still relevant. That's inspiring to me. One thing that's happening in India right now, which is very exciting, is a huge live music movement happening now. And there are a lot of live festivals for, I mean, I'm talking about rock bands and hip hop groups and pop groups and people who are doing kind of the anti-Bollywood thing. And so there's this whole movement going on of underground music, independent music, different styles of music in India. And I think over here it's I mean, in the West, not just in America, it has an audience all over the world. But it's always it's the kind. I remember Zakir Hussain when I was a kid talking about classical music, and people are like, do you think that it'll get to the point where you're going to be playing in stadiums? And he said, that's not what this music is about. We were never supposed to play in stadiums. We're supposed to play in front of audiences that truly understand what is going on. So I think that has happened. I think that there's a scene everywhere. Everywhere that I go, there's a scene, and there's a true following for this music, and that's what's most important. So whether somebody blows up and becomes some platinum-selling artist, unless you have a true following that goes as quick as it comes. It's changed a little bit. I think my goal I had a very ambitious goal of bringing Indian music into Western music in a way that was influencing other music around it, and once again becoming analogous to the people that I looked up to. But I think now to continue to enjoy making music is the most important thing to me. I think it's really I'm starting to realize that all of these distant goals are illusions, and what I feel today is most important. So I think now I'm just really happy there's a couple of really amazing producers, friends of mine, one in Chicago named Radio Hero, and there's another artist in San Francisco named Janaka Selector. He runs an event called Worldly. And they're amazing producers, amazing DJs, amazing representatives of this new kind of sound genre of music. And then there's a lot of really great new musicians. I don't know if you've heard of Sharon Funk, good friends of mine. Monica Dogra is a singer from New York, and Randolph Corriere is a guitar player and producer from Bombay, and they've created a band called Sharon Funk, which is amazing. There's an artist from Delhi called Jalebi Cartel. They're a brand new live electronica band. So there's a lot of different, really exciting stuff going on. There's some people like Niladri Kumar, who's taken the sitar to a whole nother place as far as he plays it like an electric guitar. But he's also incredibly well versed. He's son of Pandit Karthik Kumar, and he's amazing too. Aman Ayan are doing Ali Bangash. They're doing amazing stuff. Yes, I mean, people are inspired. I think it's an exciting time. There's a lot of new music, new artists feeding off each other. Well, I just rescored Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon, which I'm going to be performing live at a few venues in the States, which is exciting because he's another hero of mine who, unfortunately is not with us, but he's, I grew up, kind of worshiping his vibe as well, so that was exciting. And, we just finished work on the Medieval Pundits album, on Vishal's album. And I'll be scoring a couple of films this year and then finishing my own album, which I'll release probably early next year. Usually people get in touch with me through MySpace or Facebook, or they'll email me or get in contact with my management, and they send it over. We check out everything. I love to listen to new artists and listen to new bands and new singers. So if you got anything, send it on over.